All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Game One Loves Forever, the golf podcast. I'm here today with my good buddy Bryan. Thanks for joining me, Bryan.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Let's just we'll won't waste any time. We'll just kind of get into it. When first question I ask everybody, when did your golf journey start?
Ooh, man, my golf journey started early on in my youngin' days. I was about 4.5, 5 years old. I believe
Holy
was the first
smokes!
time I picked up the clubs. My dad says he's actually the one that kind of taught me how to play this game of golf, and
Yeah,
really taught me everything I know today about it. He was a pretty good golfer himself,
yeah.
which made him want to get his kids involved. I have a brother who got involved at the same time. He's about 4 years older than me.
Okay.
And one of the coolest things of my childhood memory that I still remember to this day is going to a place called Pin High in the Mountain View area,
Okay.
San Jose, South Bay for outside of California people,
Yeah.
Bay Area, and it was a cool range facility, full range facility.
Was it like Top Golf before Top Golf?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
but instead of it being stacked, it was spread out wide.
Okay.
And but then you had chipping areas, multiple chipping areas, multiple putting
Was that
areas,
outdoor?
outdoor.
Is outdoor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
'Cause
then,
I was thinking, there's those ones where it's kind of like the dome
yeah,
ones where it's indoor.
yeah, no,
Indoor.
this
Okay.
is all outdoor, spread out very like almost like a football field, if you
Oh,
will,
yeah.
right? Spread out wide like a rainbow.
Okay.
And then you have the facilities all around it, but they had a 3 hole. And I remember always, my dad will always want to take us there. We'd do the range, we'll do chipping, we'll do putting, and then all of a sudden we'll go play that 3 hole.
Nice.
And that three,
And and that's how old are you at this time?
so that was like when I was 5. I never made it beyond practice, just hitting a few
Yeah.
balls.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, dang, are
Yeah,
your
no,
dad taking you out at 5 years
no,
old playing some course
I
there,
don't think I got.
or pitch and
Yeah, I
putt?
don't think I got asked to go to play the 3 holes until I was probably like 7 or 8.
Okay.
That's when he felt I was old enough and like probably good enough to make it. And even at that time, he's yelling.
And
Yeah,
keep your attention, right?
yeah.
I mean,
When at that time he's like pace of play, you know.
he's one of those old heads.
Yeah, and
huh,
I'm just
he's
like,
playing,
what? I'm just like over here
Just having
playing with the
fun, yeah.
flowers and stuff and having fun. And he's like, no, pace of play. There's guys behind us that want to play, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, all right, all right.
That's pretty
You
cool.
know, but
So, when you were, 7 and 8, finally got in the course, what was it like regulation? I mean, obviously you were a kid, but I mean, was it regulation courses where it's like par threes, par fours, or just kind of pitch and putt?
yeah, so for a long time, like I said, he really kept me there. Like that was my
Okay.
that was the training facility. You know,
Nice.
never took real true lessons like a
Yeah.
lot of people do because it's a humble sport, man.
Yeah.
It really humbles you. I never really had like true lessons, but he was like my coach, if you will,
Yep.
teach me all that, and so he really kept me there for a long time until, in his opinion, it was like, okay, let's go play some other courses. Like
Yeah.
there was another course near my house called G.O.L.F. That was another pretty easy 18-hole course, but like a muni, if you will. But played a lot there. And I mean, growing up in the Bay Area, or West Coast, just in general, there's so many courses
Oh, yeah.
to grow your game at, right? So there's so many starting courses to middle of the average road to high end, humble you courses.
Yeah, yeah. Or every shot is spot golf.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
yeah. You have to strategize every shot.
Yeah, so from there, that's where it kind of evolved. As I got to be a teenager is when he was like, okay, let's start. We're part of a men's club that's with a lot of his friends and stuff. And we would go do tournaments on weekends when I was, a teenager.
Nice.
And I started at a young age. I've always had a gym since I was like pretty much in that same age group.
Yeah. So, and one thing you had mentioned to me before, your dad's a lefty.
Yeah, he's a
And I
lefty.
noticed,
Unique.
I mean, yeah, correct, right? You're a righty. I
I'm
mean,
a
we played a
righty.
few times together, so I was like, I'm pretty sure you're right-handed.
Yeah, I'm
and you
a
said he
righty.
taught you.
Yeah.
So how was that kind of
Yeah,
that
so
experience?
he's a lefty, true diehard lefty. He plays in part of the.
I do love lefties. Watching
Yeah.
lefties play, though.
Yeah, it's very unique, right? He's a part of the NorCal Lefties. Shout out to that
Oh, nice.
establishment.
There you
It's
go.
still kind of going a little bit.
Yeah.
And so he ended up teaching me from the left side of how to be a righty. And actually, when we first started, I was trying to be a lefty. I was like, oh, this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And
then
did you already write? Do you write with your left?
No, I write with right.
Okay, so he was just
we knew
trying
that
to.
was, yeah, we knew I
Yeah.
was a righty at that point. But no, he was just like trying to teach me, and so like as he was like trying to teach me, I would mimic the lefty.
Okay.
My brother was the same way. My brother's good at sports, left-handed and right-handed. I'm kind of more heavy right,
Yeah.
but I can do certain things left.
Yeah.
And so I tried to do it lefty, and it was like it's not working. And so then you put a different club in my hand, a right-handed one. I was like, oh,
It
that
felt
looks a
more
lot
natural.
better, way more
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, the reason why I asked that too is because actually I went to the range with my little nephews and they're both left-handed.
oh man,
And
more lefties.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh, let me show you." And then I grabbed his left-handed club, and I looked like I'd never touched a club in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Oh, the swing
And
angle,
yeah,
everything, the
yeah,
hips, everything is so
yeah.
different. You know.
You know, it was like it was all arms again. I was like back to the
Yeah.
slice days. You
Right
know?
back to the beginning days.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I didn't have my clubs at the time, and so I was like, I swear, you know, they're almost 11 and 6. And I was like, guys, I swear I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
I swear, you know, I can hit it far.
Let me help you.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what
So
I'm
I'm
doing.
like, I might just have to, I don't know, show them right-handed, and then hopefully they can mirror it, right?
Exactly.
So,
I think that's really what happened is like you're
which might even be better.
yeah, you're getting accustomed to the swing plane, right? Which is critical. And then, you're getting used to the hips. And I played baseball too, which kind of was it a help? And it could have been a little bit making it harder on me because the swing is a little similar, but it essentially like going from the opposite sides, it was more of a, okay, like you see what he's doing and now I have to try to reenact it
Yep.
versus being like, oh, okay, like I had to do it exactly like what he's doing, but yeah, that was fun growing up and being taught.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely go out with my dad too, like when younger, but nothing like that. Nothing like this is, this is what we're doing. We're going to the range, we're
Yeah.
working it out. We would just, anytime I got lucky enough where they needed someone, he would, when I was, I don't know, 13, 14, he would invite me out with his buddies. And, it was so funny because when I first started like that, I'm like, man, how do they get it high in the air?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
Everything's dribbling.
do you pick it up?
Yeah, you try to scoop it when
Yeah,
you first
scoop swing.
when you first start out. But yeah, that's really cool. So, I got my real like start in high school. I've told this story a few times now, but I started a lot and I really got into it in high school. My freshman year, I joined the golf team. Did you? I know you said you played in tournaments, but were you on the golf team in high school?
No, that was one thing I never did. I love this game of golf.
Yeah.
Ever since a child, but never was on the high school.
Did they have a golf team?
They did. They did have a golf team, and they played at Deep Cliff. I would go
Okay.
play there by myself or with my dad, but I never played with them.
Yeah.
For me, it was other sports would take a lot of my time. More popular sports, I guess,
Yeah,
in this area. You
Yeah.
know. But for me, it was like golf was always like a side hobby, something to do with my dad, and then figured out I started.
It wasn't your thing yet, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was
Yeah.
like for me, it was like, oh, the baseball, football life, and then or like hockey because
Which is definitely way more fun.
Yeah, San
you
Jose
know?
Sharks were big, so it's like go play hockey,
Oh, yeah.
or or go play football, or go play baseball. Then it was like no, but I always loved golf.
Yeah.
Golf was that little
And
side
and
hobby.
no, high school friends or anything. No one shows up to your golf meets.
No, yeah, no.
They show up to your basketball games,
Yeah.
the football games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just something to do like on weekends too,
Mm-hmm.
away from like the everyday sport, if you
Yeah.
will. I didn't look at golf as like an everyday sport. It was more of a hobby thing that I can go do with my dad or
Yeah, it
myself.
was like craft time.
Yeah, or even nowadays, you're like hitting up buddies, like, hey, like,
Oh, yeah.
want to go hit the range, or you
Yeah.
want to go play around, or birthdays or whatever it might be. It's a little thing for us to go out and enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I think I met you through
A golfing event.
yeah, another golf guy, and just kind of, started a group together, or not together, but started a group, and now we play together. And I think, just built something really cool, I think.
Yeah.
And like you said, now we have a group that you can text or call and get a foursome, anytime, or just even seen somebody in a while, like, hey man, let's go
Exactly.
hit 9 holes after work.
It's constantly evolving, I feel.
Yeah.
Because you're always, I feel like especially in our age group of, being from a high schooler all the way up to being a retired adult.
Yep.
You're always going to run into people that love the game of golf,
Yep.
or have a free time to golf, or just want to go practice golf.
Yeah.
And so at that time, maybe I hit you up one day, but you're not available, and the next day you are available, and it's like, oh, I can play golf every day of the week with someone different, or at a different course, or at a different facility.
And like you said earlier, that's the nice thing about being in California. I mean, we can almost golf year round, pretty much. I mean,
with our weather,
there's no snow.
Unless it's raining inches on us or something.
Well, I remember the first time we played together.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
spring. This is a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah. So the first time we played together, and you can tell your side too, but so, I had got a group together, probably, I don't know, maybe about 20 guys had committed, and
That signed up and committed, saying, I will be there.
Yes, and signed up, committed on, by Tuesday, because usually I have to get the tee sheets in, and it was cold, it was rainy, but I was like, you know what, get your, because I mean, if you have rain gear or just wear the right shoes, you're usually fine.
I remember hitting you up because I was like, this is new for us. This is early on. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, what are the odds we're playing? Like, I know how to look up weather, but what's the odds of this group playing? Like, I need to feel you guys out.
Yeah. And honestly, at the time, and I told Bryan, I said, no, I mean, everyone committed, we're all in. I said maybe a guy or two might drop out, or somebody would drop out the day of, just for whatever reason.
Yeah.
If it's cold, or maybe they don't have gear.
Yeah.
So the week goes on, and it had snowed the night before.
Yeah.
I think, and even in Folsom, where it doesn't normally snow.
Yeah.
On a course, I just said it doesn't snow. Yeah.
On a course that drains well.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be a very high end course to drain.
Yes.
It needs a lot of sand underneath that course.
So it didn't snow where the course was, which is Bingham Malone. Is it Bartley Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
Bartley Kavanaugh.
Yep.
But it had snowed up where we live, and I'm the morning of, actually even the night before, I get a couple guys call me or text me, said, hey man, sorry, I'm out. I'm like, cool, no worries, I get it. It's gonna be cold. It was gonna be cold, and it was supposed to rain for the morning, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm like, cool. So now we're at probably 18 guys. Wake up in the morning, getting ready. Boom, slowly, just text, email. I'm out. I'm not gonna make it. And I can't remember, because you had emailed me or texted me the few days before. I didn't hear anything from you, and I just assumed...
I didn't have your cell phone yet.
Okay.
And so it was only through email.
Yeah.
And so I hit you up on email the morning of, like, are we on? You're like, yeah. And then I was like, okay. And then I didn't communicate with you until I got to the course, and you're like, are you coming?
It was just...
And I was like, oh, I'm here. Yeah. And then I walked into the pro shop, and you're standing there. You're like, I guess it's the two of us today.
Just us. Yeah. I was like, nobody. Yeah. And I said, hey, I'm already here. If you want to play, let's play. And he's like, I'm down. He's like, I got my rain gear.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time. It was kind of nice too. I mean, we got to know each other.
Yeah. Hit it off right away.
Yeah. But it did rain. It was freezing.
It was very cold. It was like, I mean, I know outside of California, they're like, oh, you guys, come on now. It's just a little bit of rain.
But it was cold enough to snow earlier.
Oh, yeah. It was very, my hands were bricks.
Yeah.
Try chipping with brick hands.
Yeah. And then we did tee off, and we got down to the first green, and then we look back and we just see this other cart beelining for us. And it was John. John made it too. So, he made it out. But yeah, that was
I think we were the only people on the course.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
Until
like the sun peaked out.
Yeah, it kind of, because I remember it was by the last 3 holes, it kind of warmed up. Right?
Yeah, it was like and then that's when we saw one cart with a single in it.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
they started catching us.
What time were you guys out today? Like, oh, bright and early.
I know, that was a fun.
The first
meeting, yeah. And then that's when I knew Bryan. I was like, he's a gamer. Yeah. He's ready to golf.
I'm in for it. Yeah. I'm in for it.
Yeah.
Rain or shine.
So I know if Bryan can make it, he'll make it.
Except for next time it snows, I'm definitely out.
Yeah. I think everybody's out, yeah. Yeah, even the course director or the tournament director, he was there, and he was like, I said, hey, only a couple of us are coming. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. I get it. Yeah. He's like, I don't know if I would play right now. Yeah. So
that reminds me too of another snow story in California. Oh, yeah. Go figure. but going up to Apple Mountain, and we booked an online tea time with me and like three other buddies, and one guy came into town, so he's staying at the house, and so we have a few drinks the night before, and they're trying to call me, and I entered the digit of my phone number one off. And so, like, instead of it being a one, I might have typed in a two or something. I fat fingered it. And they were trying to call me and saying, like, hey, man, we still have snow on the course. Like, we're not open.
Yeah.
And so we drove up in the early morning. It was like an 8 a.m. tea time. We drove up and we show up and he's like, did you not get my calls? I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
Well, keep going.
And so he pretty much was like, yeah, I was trying to cancel you, man. So you didn't have to drive all the way up here. I was like, oh, we're just in Folsom. It's no biggie.
Yeah, it's not that far.
And he was just like, yeah, we got snow on the course still, man. We can't let you out on the course.
Oh, so they didn't even let you out?
No. So he gave us like a little voucher for next time, a little bit of discount. But it was pretty funny driving all the way up there and be like, oh, crap, you guys still have snow on the course?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just high enough where they get snow. Yeah. And I know now, I don't know when that was, but now they have, you can watch the camera. There's a camera for the first
probably
tee.
had the
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't smart enough.
Wasn't their first snowstorm, right?
Yeah. I was like, come on, who books a tea time at Apple Mountain during the winter?
But the funny thing is, they canceled it, but they were still at the course.
So the guy was in the pro shop, still running it.
That doesn't make sense. He was getting his hours.
He's getting his hours, man. Hey, you gotta do the job somehow.
That's true.
But yeah, he was still there when we showed up and gave us the little vouchers, and I was like, oh.
Was anybody else there?
Nope, just him.
Well, I mean, anybody on the course?
Oh, no.
Oh, just you were probably thinking like,
yeah, the parking lot was empty.
Yeah.
When we showed up, I was like, well, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And as you're driving in, you know how you can get like
snow and
you get patches of snow that don't melt off.
Yeah.
And it's not like there was a lot of snow on the course. I mean, it was like maybe an inch, you know, but it was more sporadic, spread out, where the snow melts or it doesn't melt, and you know, it's like, but he's still like, I can't let you out on the course.
I thought he was gonna be like, all right, you can play, but like, don't hit these certain spots or something.
Yeah, or something. You know, or cart path only for the whole round.
Which at Up Mountain's rough.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
rough.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
I would have taken the voucher all day.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, you want to enjoy your round of golf too, right? You don't want to just like, no, I want to play today. Yeah. Yeah, because I played in snow. We actually played in a high school tournament in snow, and they let us play.
Really?
I mean, I don't know if maybe we just kept going. And now that I think about it, I don't think they told us anything, or maybe we just ignored it. I don't remember. But I just remember we played in the snow, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was just something fun. It was probably dumb.
How'd you find your ball? Did you?
That's true.
Did you use a yellow ball?
No, just use regular ball. But I know we definitely lost a few where you know when you feel it and you can't really see it, but you feel it, and you're like, I definitely shanked that one, or it went to the right. Yeah. You can just feel it, but I was like, no, you just drop. You know?
Imagine it's like playing.
Plus, you're not playing for your best score ever. Yeah. Right. So,
but imagine it's like playing on concrete almost, like because of the hard pan.
Oh, you know, yeah. But the snow would eat it up though.
Oh, that's true.
Because it was actually falling.
So
it was actually falling.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So since it was falling, it was sticking, and so it was kind of fluffy. So as soon as the ball hit in, I mean, it was gone. Yeah. So, but yeah. So getting back to, you didn't play in high school, but you did play in tournaments.
I did.
So, and with your dad?
Yeah, I did.
So how did that work?
So he's part of the lefties, NorCal lefties. So he was always playing the tournament. So I would travel and go with him, West Coast predominantly, but some were international. Like sometimes we went to Canada one time for a tournament for him. And I didn't play in those. Those were all lefties. But they would have a tournament every year that was, it would be, you can have righties included in the tournament kind of thing. So every now and again I'll play in that. But it's
so how many lefties are in this club?
I don't know. That's a good question. But I know. Let's put it this way: it has diminished significantly. There's not many lefties anymore. I mean, they could field a full tournament, like a decent sized tournament. You know, something like we golf in regards for, like real estate or something.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of that when I was super young before I even started playing in tournaments.
Okay.
So I would be around golf courses and going to tournaments with them, but more just being like a kid enjoying the time, you know.
Yeah.
And then it transitioned into he was part of a men's club, and that men's club, which was golf for fun, so G.O.L.F, golf
Yeah.
for fun, and me and my brother and him joined that. He was already a member of it, but then we got to go around to all the South Bay courses every year,
Oh, nice.
playing all the courses, and that's really like when I really fell in love with the game, is being able
Yeah.
to play in a competitive environment. The sport that is now, it was a hobby at that time, kind of turned way more competitive for me.
Yeah.
So it kind of transitioned it. So I remember like there was times where I was playing in a Friday night football game, and instead of hanging after with all of my friends and stuff or going to dinner after the game, it's like, oh, I got to go home because I'm playing in a tournament tomorrow
Yeah.
morning.
You get your
You
sleep.
know,
And
down
yeah.
in Morgan Hill or
Yeah.
down in Hollister or something, or
Yeah.
Monterey or whatever it might be. But that was really cool. So always fortunate to do that, and then that's kind of like now. I mean, part of the Empire Men's Club up here. Don't play in as many tournaments I
Yeah. Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to, but
I know. I've been trying to get you to play in a couple
yeah,
more, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's just tough with timing. I
But
feel the
that's
scheduling on it
Yeah,
for
I
me.
know. And it's like they play the same weekends every year.
Yeah,
And so those weekends, it's like family birthdays. We usually travel at that
yeah,
time. Like,
yeah.
yeah, so
Or the
it's,
Mondays. I would love to do the Mondays,
yeah, the
but
Mondays, but then work,
yeah,
it's tough to get
exactly.
out there.
It's like,
Yeah.
man, if only I was retired at
Yeah.
a young age.
Yeah. I know those ones fill up fast too.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do these guys
Some of
do?
them were
But,
nice courses
oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The list, I should say, is a pretty good list.
Yeah. They even put Winchester this year.
Yeah, it's
They
all
got
that.
that one in there.
It's all that.
Have you played that one yet?
No,
No.
no.
So Winchester is like a nice country club slash. It's like mid private,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, I know you can pay to play.
Is that for like so weekends are private, but weekdays are
I think early morning tea times.
okay?
So I think it's one of those where it's like you can't play before 11
Gotcha.
or something.
So they give it to the members
Yeah.
for the better.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
for the better rates. But yeah, so something you said that I never actually really thought about was you said once you started to get competitive, that turned it into a love and
Like,
into a sport. I think that's true because I played with my dad and I was like, what golf, whatever. But then once I played competitively, it's like I loved it because I love competition.
yeah.
Right. So I mean, anything that has, you can ask my wife, anything that has a competition, board games, anything. I hate losing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted, and I wanted to win and be the best, or at least the best I could be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a good point that you said that,
Okay.
that I've never really thought about. Like, when did that change? And I just thought it was because I played it so much and I was, getting better and getting decent.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just that.
For me, it was more of like I'm teaching myself to be better, and like this is a sport where it's like me versus me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, playing in the tournaments, you're like, oh, whoa, this is not me versus me. It's me versus me plus me versus you and every other person here.
Yeah.
And then that's where it was like, oh, I can definitely beat this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like if I birdie this hole, I move above him. You know.
Yeah, it just adds another element to it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that, doing it competitively, and I mean, I've said this before too, is like it's just you against the course, but it's still, mentally, you're still playing against other guys, right? Because I've tried where I just shut out. I'm just gonna shoot what I shoot.
Yep.
It doesn't work. I shoot with. I'll watch and I keep track of what the other guys are scoring, and I'm like, oh, I need a birdie on this hole, like get closer, or I need to cut a stroke off here, So
Yeah, I need a.
and sometimes it makes me force,
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely think that there's
Like I think
the both elements to it.
I think for
sure.
me too is like when you're playing a course, it's like, you know me, I can spray the ball pretty well. I can pipe it, but then I can
Yeah.
also spray it. And so for me, it's like, okay, I got to have a good chip here,
Yeah.
and then I have to one putt this,
Yeah.
It put pressure on myself, and like, oh, this is how I'm
this
going
needs to
shave
be
a couple
close.
strokes.
Yeah.
I need to put this within a couple feet, and then sink that putt.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, just in that competition when we played at Apple Mountain, Just a little fun side game. We played the Shamble,
Yeah.
where everyone drove and then you played the ball from there. I mean, you were dialed as your driver that day.
Yeah, I didn't
So I was
miss it.
like, I don't know. I was like, we put some money on it, and Brian's all of a
All of a
sudden,
sudden it's in.
yeah,
Like one of the toughest
figured it out.
one of the
Yeah,
toughest courses to drive, and that day I couldn't hit a bad driver.
no,
You put me on Empire or something, I'm like in the
yeah.
trees.
Well, and that's the thing too is like, I'll play like that, and in another course, and then of course Empire's home course. So I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to go play Empire again, and then I just shoot 86, and I know that's first world problems for golf, but
100%.
yeah, like bad days 86. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like because I've been trying to shoot in the 70s here, at least 10 rounds, and just
That's the goal.
missing it. Yeah,
That's the goal.
so
How far along to the goal are we?
well, so any time of the year, but I've only done it twice,
Okay.
and then I have two 80s.
That's right there.
Yeah, and then I have some 82s, 83s.
Well, I heard
I would
one
say
round.
83.
I heard one round you shot at 84 with some bad putting.
Yeah, yeah. So we played 3-putt poker at Castle Oaks, and no, it was actually 85
Okay.
with 4 3-putts.
Yeah, it's pretty dang close to
Yeah,
a 70.
yeah, I know.
79 was
And
right there.
that's why I'm always like, dang, left a couple shots out there, and no matter what, it's crazy like how golf, even if you play bad or good, even like it brings you back. You want to play the next day. Or play another round, or like let's get play 9 more.
That's why I love the word humble for golf.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can literally,
Yes.
you can have a hole where you triple bogey it or something, and the next hole you birdie it. Mm-hmm. You're just like, wow, the game of golf is so amazing.
Like I hate it, and then you're like I love it.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then or like that day at Apple Mountain when I hit a pure drive on a par 5 with tree lines surrounding me. It's just like, and that is why I love this game, and that's why I keep coming back because of examples like that.
And one amazing shot in a round is enough. Oh, and that's the crazy thing.
The feeling.
Yeah.
The feeling
you
that
still
you get
remember.
From it,
Yeah. Yeah. So you said that your family plays. So who's better, your dad, your brother, or you?
Oh man, this is you're about to start a family fight going on here. No, if I'm gonna be.
Oh yeah, does it depend who you ask? Let's say that.
That's 100% correct.
Okay, yeah.
First of all, we're Italian, and then second of all, no, I'm just kidding. But we are Italian. But no, definitely depends on who you ask. But I'm gonna tell you the honest answer. I'm an honest guy.
Yeah.
My dad still kicks my brother and I's ass.
Dang.
Yeah.
So what's his handicap?
His handicap used to be just under a 10. I want to say it's climbed to about a 12 right now.
Okay.
But he's a guy that will hit it. He's in his 70s. So he's a guy that will hit it about 200 yards.
Yeah.
No more, no less.
Just so he's old man golf already.
Yeah.
Just no mistakes.
Yeah.
No mistakes. Dang.
Yeah. No, I've only been able to beat my dad a couple times in my life. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Same with my brother, to my knowledge. It's one of those things where he's more consistent.
Yep.
He's been playing longer than us, and he doesn't overswing. I think that's my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Is I constantly overswing, and when I can correct myself to not overswing, all of a sudden things start aligning. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling you earlier today. We played in a scramble tournament a while back, and I was hitting the driver great. Straight, anywhere I aimed it, that's where it was going. And the moment it became the long drive hole, swinging out of my shoes, pulled it straight left.
How far can I hit this thing?
Yes.
I know I got 400 in me.
I know, I was like, and I knew I could have got it too.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be on the PGA Tour after this.
Yeah. And I did. I swung out of my shoes on that one, and it didn't work out. And I'm just like, just swing the club, So, so I get that. So who's better out of you and your brother?
I would say, give or take on a day, me and him are pretty dang close.
Yeah.
That's my honest opinion.
It goes back and forth.
Yeah, because me and him...
So whoever's day it is, it's their day.
Exactly. Yeah. Like someone might be a little bit more on than the other, but we usually score pretty dang close to each other. I would say right now I might have a head up because I've been playing more than he has.
Yeah.
He has 2 young kids, not really getting out there as much. It's pretty tough when you got the youngins.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't have any kids, so I'm able to do stuff with you
me too.
and other golf groups and
stuff.
stuff.
That makes it a little bit easier. So is your dad local now too?
Yeah, so he lives up in El Dorado Hills.
Oh, okay.
So he was actually the first one to come out here.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
Then the sons followed.
Yeah.
But
Oh, so you're all up here now.
yeah, my
Nice.
brother's
Okay.
right around the corner from us, and my dad's up here as well. So we're all members of Empire Men's Club.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do. I mean, I'll get your opinion on Empire. I really like. I didn't like it at first, but I really like Empire Ranch.
I would say, depending on the month of the year, right? That my honest opinion would be like spring Empire Ranch is probably one of the nicest courses you can golf in around this area.
Right after the
Like even
rain.
you can put it up there with some country clubs.
Yeah.
I would argue that.
Yeah.
And then as the summer months come along, and even the winter months, I feel like there's not as much love and care put into
Maintenance.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maintenance I feel kind of drops off, and that could be with the watering thing or our
Yeah.
heat. Our
Yep.
heat could be, but other courses I feel like maintain it for a longer duration, and it could just be that we're not watering that course as much as some like country clubs or something around. And I don't want to compare a country club to like a
Oh, country clubs. The ones around here in Sacramento area, they drench their.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Where it's
'cause
overwatered.
oh yeah, it's
You know.
overwatered. Where, I played in a tournament last year, or maybe earlier this year, and it was just wet.
Yeah.
It was almost like it just rained, and I was like
So you want to find like the perfect
hitting
middle
muddy
spot.
spots.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where it's like, what, do I lift, clean, and place here? You know, like what
In
do
the
I
middle
do?
of summer.
Like, in the middle of summer when it's like 100 degrees out,
Yeah.
it's like, what do I do here?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I think it was 110 that day, and it was just soaking
Yeah.
wet.
My honest opinion of Empire is like I love it during like the April, May, even early June.
So like early golf season.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
best, dude. Like I remember it wasn't this year, it was last year. And I literally went out there and I was like, this is one of the nicer courses in all of SAC.
Yeah.
You know? And then it changes throughout the timing and stuff and you play other courses, but
Yeah.
I would put it right up there.
Yeah, and I think that happened too in the last 2 years. The greens have been. I mean, maybe there's a couple spots here and there, but overall, I think the greens have been spectacular.
Yeah. Especially their practice green right there next to
yeah.
the 18 and 9.
Yeah,
I feel like that one's always kept up better than the other side.
yeah. And I definitely score better on the back just because it's more forgiving.
Isn't it weird? It's weird, dude. Sometimes I will score so low on the front side and then get eaten up on the back, and then sometimes it's opposite.
Oh yeah,
That's golf.
yeah. No, I usually if I always like any of the tournaments I play, the men's club, I'm always like if I can survive, you know, two, even one sometimes because I pull it.
Yeah.
It's OB now on the left.
Yeah.
If you hit into the driving range, so yeah, if I can survive 1 through 5 and get out of there with maybe a two over,
Yeah.
I'm golden.
Yeah.
But usually I'm like 7 over.
I think
4 or 5 holes.
hole one's a more difficult hole than a lot of people think.
Yeah, it's
You can blast it as far as you want, but don't hit it too hard. So sometimes like don't take out a driver.
Yeah.
Take like a 3-wood
Yeah.
or a hybrid out.
Yep.
And then you got a downhill shot
Yeah.
to the green with a road behind it.
So for everyone, hole 1 at Empire Ranch, it's basically a dogleg left. You have OB on the right, and it's like
A power line above.
yeah, yeah. I've hit the power line, and then you have the range on the left, and you can't cut it because now it's OB.
Yeah.
So essentially, and it's a hard left.
Yeah. It's
And it's a
very
dead
hard
stop
left.
because at like whatever 270 yards, there's houses.
Yeah.
So
And there's
and then sand traps. Yeah.
Don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
You know?
And like you said, like usually, if I'm hitting driver, I'm on the downhill slope, and
So it's almost like you want to hit a 3-wood up to that
Yeah.
plateau.
yeah,
And then you got a fun,
But-
130 yard downhill
Yep.
shot with the road behind it.
But I'm always weary, for me personally,
And a
especially if I
trap
don't
in
warm up. Yeah, yeah,
And a trap
yeah,
in
trap in front. Yeah, and then I'm always long on that hole for some reason on the approach shot.
Yeah. I either am in that trap or I'm long.
Yeah,
I feel like I can never get it perfect.
yeah. My only birdie there, I remember it was a chip in birdie.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
and before that I was like, I don't think I've ever parred this hole.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's not it seems straightforward, but it's not an easy first hole. But again, so what I was saying is, if I don't warm up, well, I don't warm up. So my first shot is a 3-wood. I just don't feel comfortable
Yep.
because your
That's why I'm
first
a
few
hybrid guy now.
swings, yeah, oh yeah.
I'm a hybrid guy.
So
because of that.
first few swings, I'm just like, I'd rather hit an easy driver. But then usually what happens with that is it's easy, but then I'm too like quick and then I pull it. I don't know why. When I slow down, I pull it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
The hips and the hands.
yeah. So, but yeah, so if I can survive the first few, because it's all spot golf.
Yeah.
The only one I use a driver on, if I do use a driver on the first hole, it's only on 3 because it's par 5. But after that, 3 wood, 3 wood.
Same.
Even on 6, it's a 3 wood.
Yeah.
Because if I hit my driver good, you hit in the shit or
Yeah.
the brush.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's the same. It's definitely like a. I don't. Yeah, it's more a finesse.
yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah. But then when I played the men's club, it's like all these guys are shooting like 2 under. It's because they already know every shot. They're like, okay, this is a 3 wood, this is approach.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, this is a 9 iron. They already know exactly what club to pull every time. So there's no thinking them.
No.
So because I know that because when we go, I've seen them. You can look online to see what the scores were at away tournaments.
Yeah.
And it's all like 15 over, 16 over. I'm like, I knew you were that good.
It's their home course.
yeah. Yeah. Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know it.
Yeah.
It's the one you play the most. So
Totally.
but yeah. So any other than that, other than Empire, what's a nice course for anyone listening in the Sacramento area? What's a nice course that you like in the area?
Challenging or fun?
Just do you
or
like to,
beginner?
Like you just you enjoy playing it.
I love playing. I already brought it up, Apple Mountain.
Yep.
And I also love Ridge.
Ridge. Yeah.
And the reason I like those courses is because of going back to competition competitiveness. They kick my butt.
Mm-hmm.
Like scoring an under 90 at those courses is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I would say this year, because of our group, I did shoot under 90 at both of those courses.
Oh, nice.
And I was actually, 88s. Nothing.
Yeah.
But I'll take it.
But
know?
Yeah.
But like those courses are just very challenging to me. But for some reason at Apple Mountain, my driver was there that day.
Yeah.
And everything else was pretty okay.
Yeah.
And then at the Ridge is kind of something similar. So those two courses stand out a lot to me.
Yeah, the Ridge, I hadn't played it since high school. And then all of a sudden, I think I played it 3 or 4 times this year already.
Yeah.
And, we played it once with our group. And it's nice to get out there. It's up in Auburn, California. And it's just, and I played it for a golf tournament. I forget which one, but like a scramble tournament.
Yeah.
So, and that one, you don't really know how you score because you just kind of swing away, but
It's still a beautiful course. Though,
oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I love Apple Mountain too. I just know a lot of guys, like if we ever do our golf group, a lot of guys just are like, it's not my favorite, because it's hard.
It's pretty challenging.
It takes, I remember.
You gotta want to play golf then.
Yes. Yeah. And then if you're not playing well, you got to stick through it.
Or have a few
And
beers.
yeah, exactly. Or just drink it away.
Yeah.
Drink your sorrows away.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the times we had our group up there, I think it ended up only being 8 of us. Maybe 12. Yeah, I think it was 2 times ago.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, even when we did the Shamble, I think we only had 12 guys, maybe 4 groups.
Yeah.
That one? It was a little smaller again.
Yeah, it was.
It's always the smallest.
It was just under 15, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always the smallest showing or outing because every time it's just like, dang, that's not my course. So anyway, I think there's 8 of us maybe, or maybe just 8 of us went to have a drink after.
Yeah.
And you could just see the look on everybody's faces. Everyone was just like spent. Like they're like, thank God that's over. Because I think I shot like a 92 that day.
I remember that.
And it was just like, dang, triples and like, it was just so funny to see. I was like, okay, it just wasn't me. It's just the day. Because everyone was like, fuck, give me a beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I got to have some joy in my life right now. So,
if we're gonna go on another course, Yokadehi, man, beautiful.
Yeah, Yocha, man, that's
a little bit deeper outside of Sac, if you will.
Yeah, it's out past Woodland, Brooks, California, technically, but yeah, it's Cache Creek.
Yeah, Cache Creek Casino.
Cache Creek Casino.
Right,
yeah,
on the same property.
Yeah, they have a golf course. Yeah, that's a beautiful one. That's one I've been trying to get us out there, but they're just kind of tough on their fees and
makes sense.
I
mean, their greenskeepers love what they do because they make that place look beautiful.
Yeah. Well, even like now, they're already going in a repair mode here in September, and they, they put it on, and I like that too. They put their maintenance schedule online.
Oh, for booking
Yeah,
purposes, so you
yeah.
kind of
So
know.
yeah, because I mean, you're going there to play a nice course. The first time I played there, I just remembered like every tee box is level. No, like maybe not now, but when I played, there were no divots.
Yeah.
It was like clean. I was just like, dang. And then even the fairway was like, it felt like it was like PGA, status. Like,
Oh, there's triple
clean.
like rough levels. I
Yeah.
feel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the fairway was just like
You got a true fairway.
perfect. Yeah.
You got a true fringe, and then you got
And
like
then you got
multiple rough levels.
yeah.
It's just like, what are we playing here?
Yeah.
I'm alled to play this. Is there a tournament coming?
Yeah,
Is PGA coming here after
exactly. I'm like, who are you getting this ready for?
that? Yeah, exactly. Me? All right.
Yeah. But I mean, imagine if you're paying anywhere from, $110 to, I think on the weekends, I think it's $250.
Yeah, it's up there.
Crazy. So
Yeah, that's
I get it. If you're, paying that, you're like, you want a nice course. So, but yeah, they're already starting repair mode in September, which kind of sucks because if we do get out there, I think there's like 6 or 7 holes cart path only, which I guess isn't bad, but sometimes, I mean, if you don't hit it near the cart path, you're walking.
You're walking.
Yeah.
You're getting your mileage.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're getting your steps in for sure.
yeah.
So,
let's talk about an unwritten thing that I feel like you brought it up. Like, why don't courses post the maintenance schedules more often? I know they're trying to all make money, and I get that. I get the financial and business side of it. But what a disappointment when you show up to a course and they just punch the greens, or
for sure,
or they're doing multiple tee box repairs.
Yeah.
It's just like, wait a minute, I paid what to play?
Or they don't do the repairs, and you look at the tee box, and it's just
then you're like, yeah.
It's like someone took a shovel.
Yeah, exactly. So on both sides of it,
Yeah.
like it hurts when you pay a certain price to go to a course, and you're like, man, I wish I would have known this was, under maintenance right now, because I probably wouldn't have come that day.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, it's like, man, they couldn't do anything out here.
Yeah. They should at least lower the greens fees.
Right.
Yeah,
there should be like a little alert, something of like, hey, reduce fee because of maintenance.
That's funny that you brought that up too. I even try to Google it or like go on message boards or like SAC-B or anything. And it's old. It was like a few years ago, and it actually said, oh, these are the dates they're punching.
Yeah.
But anything, like I was looking, make sure we didn't get it for our groups,
Yeah.
For our golf group. And yeah, there's nothing out there. You have to call the course.
Yeah.
Or you have to, and hopefully
there's no easy way of finding
exactly.
the information.
Yeah. It's not readily available.
No.
But that makes sense too, right? Because they don't all work together.
No.
Right. So they just care about their course, or an owner or a group owns like 3 courses, like Turkey Creek and Empire. They're the same, right? And the Apple Mountain too, right?
I knew there was a third. I can't remember who
I
the
think it
third
might be
is.
Apple. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, since we'll have
And
to
don't
go.
they own Wood Creek too?
Do they? No, that's Roseville owns. It's a city.
I thought it was like.
It's a city. Wood Creek and Diamond Oaks are owned by Roseville.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now that I know you really like Apple, I know who to call. Apple Mountain.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
depends on the day, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, even if, and that's another course too. You don't use your driver until what, like the 5th or 6th hole.
Yeah.
And your elevation, so you don't really, everything flies a little bit further.
Yeah, totally.
Which I love. Yeah. I mean, we can hit some.
Really, you're playing iron game the first 2 holes.
For
and
few.
And the 3rd hole, you could bring out, or you can bring out like a hybrid or a 3-wood.
Yeah, that's even a 3-wood a little bit tough for me. So, and that's a dogleg right. I tried to drive the green before, but
doesn't work.
Excuse me. Well, that one I lost. So, and then I asked the group because I knew the group ahead of us, and I was like, "Hey, did you guys see?" And they're like, "No, we didn't see anything." So it probably got held up in the tree. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're in their group.
They put that tree there for a reason.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you don't murder someone. Yeah. Otherwise, everybody cutting it.
I feel they did do that just so you can't drive the game.
Yeah,
for sure. It's almost like a perfect placement.
Yeah, because then the higher you go, the shorter you hit it. So, for new golfers, is there any advice you would give, or I don't know, anything anybody's watching, maybe something you would like, let's say they're just starting, what would you tell them to work on or focus on? That's a better question.
one of the biggest things I think is practice. I don't think anyone practices enough in this game. I don't even
I don't
think
practice.
I don't think professionals practice enough. You
Yeah.
know, you see them out there hours upon hours, and they still make mistakes.
Yep.
So it's a very challenging sport, which is one of the reasons I love it. Another thing is consistency. So, you know, like get your get the grip that you want to have as your grip that feels comfortable. It's not like you don't want to feel awkward when you're swinging the club or even putting.
Yeah.
Like the grip I use for my irons and is different than the grip I use for my driver, which is different than the grip I use for putting.
Yeah.
And it's because I use a different grip for all of those because it feels normal and comfortable to me.
Yeah.
So when you're getting involved in, I think it all starts there. It all starts with your grip
Okay.
and how your club face is.
Yep.
And then from there, it's all about getting comfortable with your swing and understanding.
Yeah, because when you start, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
When you first start, I mean, the swing feels weird. I mean, even
Totally.
sometimes when I'm stiff, it feels weird. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if to Brian's point, if it feels awkward, just keep swinging.
Yeah.
Right.
Get used
But
to
I,
that swing.
but I like what you said. To
the
get the grip.
is-
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very easy tweak that
Yeah.
people don't even think about.
Yeah.
And that can mess your swing up because, like, let's say if you have a bad grip, it could be more predominantly that I'm going to hook the ball because of my bad grip.
Yeah.
Or opposite of that,
Yeah.
where I'm going to shank it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, because of my
Slice
bad
it, yeah.
slice it because of my bad grip.
Yep.
Whereas if I get really true dialed in to a comfortable, natural grip that's not over gripping, and you don't overswing, usually you're going to hit it pretty good. Or at least hit it straight.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you mishit it, it's still going to go straight.
Yeah. Even like when we played in scramble, you know, I play with a couple ladies every once in a while from work, and in a scramble tournament, and they get frustrated, but I'm like, you're hitting it straight.
Yeah.
You know, if you're hitting it straight, that's good. That just means everything's right.
Yeah.
It's just either you're not picking it up or you just don't have enough power.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think, and as I tell my buddies who start or anybody that starts, you know, my wife's trying to get into it, just because she sees how much I love the game. So she's like, okay, if you know,
Give it a
if
shot.
JR loves it this much, then I should probably, you know, at least try it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But yeah, so when you know, guys start or whatever, I just like, hey, you're hitting it straight. You know, now just work on power.
From there, it's just like tiny tweaks.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that's all it is. Like, how about this? Another good thing is do not overcorrect. Like, you know, like for a first time golfer or newbie golfer, a lot of times people throw a ton of things at you.
Oh yeah.
Like when I'm golfing with someone that's hasn't been golfing as long as me, I don't try to overcorrect him. I'm
Yeah.
like, or her, and I'm just like, hey, just think about, don't change anything. Just think about this, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe just a little tweak to that. Like maybe your grip, maybe get a little bit looser on your grip, or maybe look at your feet stance. You know, maybe you need to be more proper or something. So like not overcorrecting something, don't ruin it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good point too. And are you? And I like what you said. So I'm also that type of person where I won't say anything unless they ask.
correct.
So that's at the point where they're like, okay, what am I doing? And I'm like, well, here you go. But I like that. Have you seen that meme where it's like, if you want to swing right, all you have to do is get your ladder, you know, and it's
Yeah.
like get your elbow down,
There's
get your
like
elbow, but
100
hold it
things.
straight, but
Yeah.
straight arm,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
exactly.
your left arm straight, and then
Yeah.
you got to move your hips, but
Yeah.
then your hips go first, then you're, yeah.
That's a golf swing. Like you're doing 100 things in
Yeah.
one motion.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm trying to hit it perfect every time.
Yeah, and then I like Derek Jeter said too, and he was saying that he's like golf is so hard. He's like, you're thinking about all those things, and then you hit it, and it's perfect, and you forgot about the wind.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's
it
like
just knocks it
and
down.
it just knocks it down. It's like didn't go where I, you know.
Or you got someone talking in their backswing or something.
Yeah,
You're like, dang it.
yeah.
I did everything right on there.
Well, Brian, thank you for coming on, and I appreciate you, you know, telling kind of about your journey of golf, and hopefully someone out there can resonate and maybe take a little snippet from here. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do is just kind of talk about golf, and maybe someone who's doesn't, you know, I meet a lot of people who are like, oh, I can't do that or whatever. And that's kind of why I started this to begin with, is just to let people know it's not, you know, kind of grow the game, right?
Totally.
So, so I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience. And
Of course. Thanks for having me.
yeah, and then so everyone out there, you know, like and subscribe, and if you like what we're saying or what we're doing, yeah, right here. comment or, yeah, and just keep listening. Thank you.